Welcome back, everybody, to the Gears Challenger Series, Split 2, Phase 1, Week 1. I'm Taylor Reflections Noble, joined by Guy Blaze. We're now heading into our second semifinal matchup, Immortals versus Double R. Not to be confused with Rated R. They're their own thing. I think at one point they said the fake Double R or the fake Rated R, something like that. Regardless, though, they're a talented roster, and Blaze, I can't wait to watch them.
It's going to be fun to watch these guys as well. You talked a lot about them coming into this one. Yep. They're a talented team. We've seen them in the Challenger Series before, but they're going to have some tough opponents on the flip end with Immortals. I know at least one player I'm looking forward to watching playing on Immortals is going to be Jaysmoove. I want to see what he can do there for that squad. But regardless of the fact that whoever goes on to play DBF in the finals is going to be a good squad.
Oh, 100%. And this is the thing. If I'm looking at Immortals and I'm looking at Double R, I'm thinking these are our two strongest teams in the Challenger Series. It's interesting that they have to play against each other in semifinals because these are two rosters that I would expect to be in grand finals if they were one was on top and one was on the bottom when it comes to the semifinal matchups. But it is what it is. They're going to have to cannibalize each other, and one of the team is going to go home a little bit early. But like you mentioned, both of these two teams have faced off against each other during the LCQ. Immortals, though, like you said, you want to see Jaysmoove, JMF Smooth. He's out there along with Phaze, Trill, and Pushyz, Coach Terrorize. Man, Jaysmoove, he really is smooth.
And he definitely is, man. I feel like I played against a few of these guys in ELO 8, and I know Pushyz is going to definitely be putting in work. His name is what it is. It's Pushyz, right? He's going to be pushing you. And he has no lack of confidence. So we'll see if he can bring that confidence here in this series. But, regardless, I want to see how these guys play as a whole. I want to see what the map cycle is looking like for them as well. But regardless of whatever map that we get, it's going to be a great series.
Oh, 100%. When it comes to Double R, though, I love this roster. Toxiq, Rapidz, Nero, and Maniik. There's a lot of slaying power there. There's a lot of teamwork, I think, that is going to come through big. I mean, Toxiq and Nero, two members that have been on this roster for a little bit now. At least we've watched them kind of compete. Maniik as well, right? Rapidz being on this roster is a fun one too. But the thing that's missing, though, is Solar, right? Solar was such a big component to Double R, and Solar was on this roster during the Last Chance qualifier. But now he's missing. And I think that's going to have a tremendous impact on this roster's ability to be able to perform. So that's my only complaint about Double R. But if you look at these four members, what do you think?
When I look at these four members, I see some experience there, and I see players who are not afraid to get into some fights. We done seen some of these players' names towards that kind of bottom. We'll say what tier 2 of Latin America competition out there. But also, we know that you cannot count out any Latin American teams, man. All of those guys play like their tournament lives are on the line, and they're on the main stage in this loser bracket finals, and they're going to give it everything they got. So I tell you one thing, Immortals, they're going to have to dot their I's, cross their T's when it comes down to playing these guys, because if they miss any opportunity here, I think that the boys of RR is going to make them pay for it.
Hey, it's very possible. Again, Maniik in place of Solar. Let's see how that works out. I also want to see our pick and ban, see what maps we're rolling with. We got Asylum, TG, and Harbor. So we're going to go back to the bread and butter, man. We're going back to two maps that have been competed on for the entirety of Gears 5 competitive. You'd love to see it.
Yeah, I think that when it comes down to Asylum, Foundation, hell, even District, that you're going to at least get one of those maps there in these first two to kick this one off. So excited to see how these guys are going to play on Asylum. We've, done a great job breaking down a lot of the top teams' plays and rotations and how you're going to be successful here on this map. And I'm curious to see how these guys are going to play it.
We'll definitely find out. I mean, it is a map, again, that has been played for some time, so I expect these teams to be very familiar with it. In terms of Immortals, this is the same 4-stack that's been there. Of course, there has been a change for Double R, which could, in fact, have an impact, but they are going to be starting off on their map pick on Asylum, so we're going to get a good indication if this new addition of Maniik is going to be truly beneficial, which Maniik is a solid player in his own right. So, filling in the gaps for Solar, I should say. I think it's going to be just fine. But again, man, these are two of the top teams, I do believe, in the Challenger Series. And one of these teams, whoever wins, I do expect to win this whole thing versus DBF in grand finals. But
man,
we'll definitely find out.
You keep saying one of these two teams is going to win the whole thing. I think DBF, no matter who they play, is going to come out on top. Yeah, man. Hey, we're at least going to see in map 3, Taylor. You know, these are two talented teams on the bottom, but
sure,
that DBF roster at the top, Azuri, Zenin, Crushmo, and Osby is 4v4. That's a talented team. That's a group full of smart players. And you know, we watched them in that first series get better round after round.
It's true.
They had a deeper playbook than their opponents. We're gonna see what type of plays these two teams run, but DBF will be prepared for whoever they play. I think it's gonna be a close series.
Hey, fair enough. Fair enough. Hey, look, if I'm any team, though, I'm picking Foundation. That's just what I'm picking, man. And if I got a 4-0 lead, if I'm double R Immortals, I'm taking it to them, and I'm going to finish off that last round. That's all I'm saying. Like you said, though, DBF, a very talented roster. I expect to do well. But again, I'm sticking to my guns, man. Look, I was dead last in Pro League predictions. When it comes to Challenger Series, I'm trying to be up there, even though we're not keeping... You know, I'm going to keep score personally, Blaze. All right?
Let's do it.
I will keep score personally. For DBF, I expected them to win the first series. In the second series, I expect Double R to take it. We'll have to find out how the chips are going to fall. Let us know in chat. Who are you supporting? Who do you think is going to end up ahead?
Insanely Strong saying,
let's go Immortals. Hey, look, and they are, man. And so is Insanely Strong saying, let's go Immortals. He wants them to lead ahead. But Maniik, that's going to be the big one I'm watching out for. Is he going to be able to fill in the shoes of Solar?
All right, textbook start for both these squads. We got a 1-1-2 here to spread the map man on man. We see here from the POV of these players that they're just trying to figure out where can they find an advantage. Who do they want to focus fire? Can they leave their individual 1v1s and take a quick 2v1 on somebody? Now, Trill is going to be mid-map, and he's going to play tug-of-war here with Nero. He's going to get aggressive on him, see what he does. He's going to back up, play passive. But these early rounds is super important for understanding the tendencies of your opponent. And Nero with a big flank there through the mid-map. Completely juked out Trill. He lost him. You can't lose your guy there, especially in a 1v1 position like that.
Hey, your man Jaysmoove popping off, takes down Pushyz, or excuse me, takes down Maniik and Toxiq. That locks in the neutral. A much needed fight because, like you said, Nero went for that overextension, got on the flank, and made good on it. He's going to stick it. He's just going to take on every single member from Immortals who comes off that respawn, but unfortunately, it's going to fall a bit short. Now this tracks fight's about to be underway once again. Backtrain's coming through. Double R looking to retake control if they possibly can. They've got a little bit of a lead, and they don't want to lose it.
Yeah, they're in a difficult spot right here. You saw him had to kind of revive Train to safety there, but Rapidz pushes forward, soaks up some of that damage, relieves some pressure from his teammates. They will get a decap at B, but will that be worth anything here? Because it's a lot of damage in which was put out there by Immortals. They'll be able to clean up both kills, lock in a neutral hill, but their home hill getting decapped off respawn. Nero once again just overextending the map, forcing Immortals to have to, respect this top lane. Also relieving some pressure there from that center area so his teammates can come off respawn and get some better positions there. Even if he dies in that situation, at least his teammates can kind of really push up and find their numbers elsewhere.
Toxiq, big fight. He's going to fail. Phaze will take him down. Charlie now in their line of sight for Nero. He's about to be isolated. Maniik, he could get pushed here, but there's really no benefit to doing so. So Phaze just going to keep an eye out for him, wait for him to get out, and he'll take him down. For Nero, though, he is going to get challenged. Full red, just trying to snub out as much as he possibly can. For Immortals, though, they're getting close to victory, but Nero is popping off, doing so well, and honestly just being a huge nuisance to Immortals at this point.
That's pretty much a 4-piece right there for Nero. Getting a touch on all those kills. Did he continue in 5? Took a lot of damage there, but it doesn't matter because the A hill got locked in. Nero definitely the MVP of that round. From the kickoff where he left his 1v1 with Trill, completely juked him. Trill was still pre-fire in a corner in which Nero was not even sitting at. He flanks one of the members there of Immortals at A, overextends the map, continues to put pressure top entrance through middle, and ultimately that was the win condition his team needed there in the late game.
Hey, Nero, that round was all him, right? He's 5-2, 2 deaths, but like you mentioned, he went on the OE, he got on the flank. He was just, like I said, being completely annoying to the Immortals roster, and even in the end, he was absolutely instrumental to taking that domination in their hands. So I expect a lot from him. He's already doing great push. He's trying to grab anything, maybe even a bite to eat, if you will, over the cover, but nothing is there. He's going to be empty-handed. Now Toxiq, he's going to push up alongside that of Maniik. Pushyz, he's going to try and take control if he possibly can. Hits a couple of shots, but nobody able to get any type of kills. But Jaysmoove, once again, off the start, you pointed him out, and for good looks, he is popping off and playing very well. Immortals, they've got B and C.
And yo, beautiful angles by Pushy there on the tracks. He created that play for Jaysmoove, but Nero creates his own with a blind fire over the cover. He knows where his third target is. He's going to angle him out and quickly do a 180 because he already knows where the fourth and final target is. He's trying to have the highest DPS on his team. Wants to be in every single fight. Now Pushyz has a big one to keep his team in, and it's him versus Maniik.
Maniik trying to hit his shots, can't do it just yet. Pushyz still trying to push him back. Like you said, Pushyz, that's all the name is to it, right? He loves to push him, but he falls, C's locked in, and that's going to wrap it up. I want to say, though, Rapidz and Nero, they were the ones holding in Charlie, the home hill of Immortals there, as they were coming off the respawn. They were taking member after member down. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Rapidz did fall, but Nero was still there. Because he stayed up as long as he did, he allowed another one of his teammates to come through, help him out, and then ultimately secure that domination. Gotta say, Double R, they're looking solid.
Nero is amazing. 10 kills out of 2 rounds so far. He got another big double kill on top of the home hill to get this domination for his team. You saw there at the end, Maniik really didn't even have to kind of play that 1v1. He played for the cat, got the round win there in the end. And so far, Trill has to find an answer for Nero mid-map. That's his guy. He has to go man-on-man with him. He cannot let him break away and create plays here for RR.
I shouted out Insanely Strong, who was backing up Immortals, and he just now said in chat, OMG, RR is going to win. Good night. So that changed very quickly off of those first couple of rounds. And you know what? I think Double R might be able to take, but that's just 2 rounds. Look, we already witnessed 1-4-0 loss, okay? Bottom line period on Foundation, and that was driven by Fear, who was able to win it. Sending it to round 9, so it's absolutely possible for Immortals to clean it up, but you got to stop here. The buck stops here with Nero. 10-3, 2 devs. He's just a man on a mission, and Trill, he's trying to run away.
Yeah, Trill only had 1 weapon in his back pocket, and that was a back A on that wall based off the position in which he was in, but Nero knew that was his only play, and he called it out to his teammate, and he had patience there in that 1v1. He's going to prevent the trip cap domination by decapping A, but you're going to see Jaysmoove pick up a kill there on Maniik. 4v3 situation here for Immortals. They're coming off respawn. It's Nero in a 1v3 on top of the home hill, trying to take one to the grave, but Immortals would not let that happen. They're in a 2-to-1 hill setup, and they're going to start rotating down towards the bottom end of the map to get a fortified here at B.
To player 5, though, Phaze in Pavilion, he's going to be instrumental to lancering out. Now, the back train will come through, not going to have the biggest impact. For Double R, it actually would have been more beneficial for a front train, given the fact that that would have isolated player 2 Pushyz, and they may have been able to push up. But player 9 knows he's got to clear out Pavilion. Player 3, though, Jaysmoove is going to be ahead of the game. He's there to try and lancer him out, but then you have Rapidz going for the OE. Player 3 cleans him up. Jaysmoove not holding back any punches. Nero, full red, backing off. Immortals covering their angles, but Double R finds an opportunity to get onto B. I'm trying to think, if they get a couple more kills, these 2 players, Phaze and Jaysmoove, if they fall, Immortals could be in trouble here, and they do.
Yeah, Nero, great flank from him mid-map. He's going to go down, and he's going to get cleaned up as well. But you see his teammate on the other end of Tombstone. They just both back up, lancer out that player mid-map, and now RR, they thought about going for the home hill, Taylor, but they're just going to choose to back up, fortify at B, put some numbers up top. Rapidz is giving his team all the call outs in which they need to be able to put themselves in the proper positions.
This is going to be a big push from Immortals. They know we need to get that home hill to home hill locked in place. They're not even going to really try on B. They'll send players 4 and 2, but they might be setting up to try and take it all. In for a domination, but Nero, utility in hand, use it to try and push them back as much as possible. Phaze and Jaysmoove, they might fall here. I don't see them getting out with their lives. No, Nero misses the first shot, but comes in, capitalizes on the second. Rapidz was there to also get the cleanup on Jaysmoove, and that should be it. Trill flee, pretty much last one standing.
Yeah, last one standing indeed. And that was a fight in which he had to win for his squad there. RR here in the late game. Just a 10-point lead right there. They've closed it out. And a good job to them, man. Nero still making big plays here for the squad. He is just being annoying to his opponent. Rather, it's pretty much his mid-map presence, Taylor. His 1v1 with Trill, he's completely dominating it. He's overextending towards his home hill, picking up multiple double kills. His teammates are holding down this fight at track. Jaysmoove and Pushyz, they've been playing well here for the side of Immortals, but you know, they probably gonna have to turn up another level, and they're gonna need their teammates' help.
Yep, 100%. I mean, it's the same thing with Papa Chalky Milk, right? Bronny, Flaw playing so well. Xenon, Trey, Vino, though, I felt leaving a lot to be desired, right? Again, you have two members that are popping off. Doesn't mean that you're going to be able to take the victory because those other two members are dragging behind. So need to see a little bit more come out from that side of Immortals. For Double R, though, set up to maybe get onto B as of now. But Jaysmoove in Pavilion, right? He's going to be there. He's going to be annoying. And it's going to be hard for any member from Double R to get onto B safely because they're going to be lancered out. So interesting position. Incense out. It misses. Jaysmoove living rent-free.
All right, so that was the one advantage there that RR had because they chose to put all their weapon placements up until this point into those incendiary grenades. So that's going to be out the window. Now, plenty of secondaries on the sides of Immortals, but you see here mid-map, a lot of fights going here towards the way of RR, and they're going to get themselves another one. So currently a 4v2 for them, and they're going to lock in this B hill. And they're about to have a 2v2 fight on top of C, but you're going to see Rapidz just choose to disengage because he knows that this is not going to be a good fight for him. His teammates are not going to be in position just yet. A cross-map Lancer from Maniik is going to be the difference maker, as that's going to be 2 downs on top of the home hill. 4v2 situation here for RR. And they got the double down on the hill. This is another round locked in, 4-0 lead. And Taylor, they've been playing flawless to kick this one off.
They really have been. You know, I want to point out, by the way, the duo of Rapidz and Nero. You know, we've been talking a lot about Nero popping off, and rightly so. He's been playing so very well. You look at his stat. I mean, come on, 16-8, 5 deaths, but Rapidz 6-11. He's got those 11 assists. Every time I'm watching Nero in a tough situation, I'm also seeing Rapidz lancer out, snub out, or just be there for the cleanup. And a prime example was that fight, that transfer from Pavilion over to the home hill, or what was going to be the home hill if Nero stayed alive, of the team of Immortals. Nero falls, but who's there on the flank? Rapidz. He goes through streets, gets on the back end. Nero falls, but Rapidz gets to clean up on those two members from Immortals. So that's a deadly duo. I like what I'm seeing from them, and that's going to be a tough duo to battle against. Huge difference maker there. But for Immortals, though, great start. They throw out the shock on stairs. They're not allowing Double R to push in, and Immortals are going to take an early lead.
You know, one great characteristic of support players out there is always knowing where your main slayer is, knowing where the guy is with the hot shot in the moment. Make sure that you are assisting him in his fights, knowing which battles he's going to take, because as long as you can make sure that it's not a full 175 for him, you put at least 10% damage on him, you'll be in a good position. So when they go out there hitting 90s, 92s, 93s, they'll still be chunks.
Yeah. And again, that's something I wanted Papa Chalky Milk to, you know, capitalize on with Bronny and Flaw himself. They could slay out, right? But we just need a little bit more from the other two members. And for Double R, they're a great example is if you do that correctly, you can really highlight and capitalize on your main slayers, such as Nero. Pushyz, though, will Lancer down Maniik. Double R trying to hold down the neutral. They've already have it in their hands. Trophy now pushing up. He's getting aggressive. Forced to back up, though. Nero is there holding down the front line. That's going to be one down. Rapidz, 2 his side again. That duo playing so well. Nero will fall. Rapidz, though, is still there. Can he get the cleanup? It's hard with the meat shield. He will fall as well. Jaysmoove doing a great job with Phaze, shutting down Rapidz and Nero. They're not slowing down. They're going to continue to push forward.
Yeah, great hold by Jay and Co up there. Now they're going to push on through. They know it's a 4v2 on the map currently. They're going to put all their numbers in his home hill, force their opponent to have to play for the decap, and Phaze bouncing around with a quick 3-piece there. Going to get the first round here for Immortals.
Phaze said, stop talking about Nero, man. Look, you guys can talk about me too. So Phaze popping up in the end there.
You gotta earn it.
You gotta earn it. You really do. I mean, right now I'm looking at Nero basically double everybody else, 18-9. You know, that's an impressive stat line. But hey, 4-1. Blaze, I'm gonna let you call it. Are we seeing a comeback here?
Based off how this one was played so far, I don't think this is gonna be a comeback, Taylor, to be honest.
Okay.
You know, based off of how these weapons are kind of placed on the map, the weapons don't even play into a factor just yet. If we do see a center line weapon, an incendiary grenade could play a factor based off when it's put down, but the shot grenade I think is the big difference maker of top 4 Immortals. So they're looking good to have an advantage in this round when it comes down to locking in his E-heal. But at the end of the day, they still have to find an answer for Nero because he finds ways to make plays for his team.
Ooh, I like the fact that he's in the cut with the retro. No worries at all, and the shock does miss him. So he's not going to be able to get E as of yet. He's in a tough spot, but he's trying to make the most of it. Jay's going to try and Lancer him out, but it's tough to out Lancer a retro, right? So at this point in time, they'll lock in E. But player 5, Phaze, he's managed to rotate around along with his teammate Jaysmoove, so they'll take that double home-to-home setup and maybe collapse down onto E very shortly. But I'm liking what I'm seeing from Immortals. They're looking a little bit more confident than that first half.
Yeah, they definitely are, Taylor. Looking, you know, the first half was a complete blowout. RR just completely dismantled them. Now, they came out on top with that last round, but RR, 2-to-1 heal advantage for them. They're doing a great job locking in his E-heal. The Retro Lancer here at the front lines, putting a lot of damage on these players. So Nero, he's in a good spot, but you see the aggression down low there for Immortals. They're going to be able to decap the home heal. Nero is going to be able to hold the E-heal, and with Retro in hand, all the intel in which his teammates is giving them, I don't see Immortals decapping E anytime soon.
You know, Nero's playing a really unique role. I love the fact that, you know, he's going to be the main slayer. It's proven with the stat line of 20-9 with 7 deaths, but he's doing it with the retro. And look at how devastating that retro is in his hands. Typically, someone who has the retro is going to be staying in the back lines, really utilizing that on tracks or on that streets fight. But Nero is using it in a unique way where he's actually pushing up with it, getting that chip damage himself if Rapidz isn't there to, you know, assist him and taking them down. Well done. 5-1 victory. And Nero, definitely the MVP there, sweeping away the competition.
Man, he was so confident and he played with such aggression. I love how he used the Retro Lancer as well. You know, sometimes you're gonna put that Retro Lancer, maybe a support player's hand or the home heal player is using a weapon to lock down a lane, but Nero on the front line, putting out that damage, swapping from Retro Lancer to shotgun, picking up kills, using his pistol when he needed to as well. He did it all. And another thing too as well, like his target selection. He wasn't wasting time cleaning up kills. Target 1, down chunk. Target 2, down chunk. But he knew exactly where everyone was. So that tells me that his awareness is great. And or the communication on the team was definitely on point.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. And you know what I do respect about that victory from Double R is Nero, if you paid attention, pretty much at no point in time was he ever on tracks, right? He never rotated down and got a kill on the tracks. He was useful on streets. His teammates allowed him to be on streets. This is one of those rare moments where he came in, but I mean, look, where is he going? He was from Pavilion. He comes in, gets the chunk on the 2, and now he's right back up in the streets once again, right? That's where I mean, he's literally living in these streets. Despite Jaysmoove playing well, Phaze, Pushyz, Trill, it just wasn't there wasn't a Nero. I mean, that's just a deciding factor. But, you know, for Rapidz, Nero, we already know the job that they did. It was on streets. You're literally seeing every single highlight coming out from Nero. But I want to, you know, give a shout out to Toxiq and Maniik for holding down the tracks on that first half, right? They were instrumental as well in consistently getting that neutral and allowing Nero to do what he needed to do on the overextension or even capitalizing for getting that domination. So overall, like you said, Blaze, the communication, it was there and it's apparent with that scoreline.
Yeah, it definitely is apparent. When you got a guy like Nero, he makes everyone's job easier on his squad, makes every lane that much simpler because when he gets a big play off the start, puts some initial damage in, manages to be able to leave his 1v1 and help you 3v2 someone very quickly, that damage is the advantages in which you need to come out on top. Because the one thing about Gears of War is that you know, we've seen it plenty of time before. Teams come out, they play man on man, right? They run the same base strat on the initial, and it's kind of a stalemate, right? You don't want to run in, cap that hill, have to hit a wrap shot, because in this version of Gears of War, that's a high risk play, high risk, high reward, but also it's kind of a dumb play. You can take higher percentage fights there. And for the top players out there, they know how to use their movement, hide their location, and just outplay their opponents to find these advantages for their teams in crucial moments. And Nero, he did that many times in that first map.
So going into training grounds, Blaze, I think obviously the advantage has to go to Double R, not even because of that 5-1, but because of the teamwork and consistency they showed. One of the biggest things that I'm going to be worried about, because the Overlook fight, it's going to happen. It's going to be that 3v3. We're going to see that one player on each team split off and go down low. If I had to assume for Immortals, they're going to have Trill. Trill's going to be the man trying to lock in the neutral on the first half. For Double R, it's probably going to be Maniik or Toxiq. I think it's probably going to be Toxiq challenging Trill. I think Toxic's going to have the leg up there. Trill's going to have his hands full. But with Nero playing as well as he did, getting those eliminations so heavily, even if because we know we're going to see Pushyz up top, we know we're going to see Phaze up there, Jaysmoove as well, right? Those three are just they're going to have to fight that fight in the 3v3. Those are your slay heavy members. We could be seeing some pretty quick dominations here for Double R. That's my only concern. That 1v1 is going to be absolutely critical. And if it is Trill, which I think it's going to be, he's going to have to hold his own, or he's going to be a true detriment to the team.
Yeah, the 1v1 is critical. Now, if you're going to be on the side of Immortals, it's critical in the sense that you don't get pushed out and allow that guy to run you and dictate what you're doing on the map, because that's going to make his teammates' job easier on the other end. But for Immortals, they have to win the team fight. That's what it's come down to for them, Taylor. The team fight is going to be that important for them. We saw in that last series that one side, it has a little bit more advantage than the other, but you have to be able to run strategies on both ends. If you're playing off a left hand and you have to go fight that wait for those nades to explode. Bait those nades out a little bit, throw your nades last, then you make a push, right? Then you try to get in and push that damage. Or if that doesn't work out, take your right hand advantage, top overlook, and rotate towards that side of the map and try to trap your opponents, especially when you get the shot grenade down. That opens up a lot more strategies in which you could run. But if that 3v3 team fight is not won by Immortals, they're not going to have any chance at winning this map here. And I think it's going to be similar to what we saw in our first series with DBF going against a team in which they had to face against on the top side, where you saw multiple players, they gave up the fight. They didn't want to fight you. They said, hey, we're going to go cap the home hill. But the squad with the most experience out-rotated them, picked them off one by one. Right. And even though, Bronny and them, they had the slaying power, at the end, they couldn't really convert the kills and advantages in which they were getting to points.
Again, like you said, man, that team fight, if you lose it consistently, you're going to lose. The 1v1 is what it is. But where do you even go from there? Like, place power weapon in hell? Do you place it on, Bravo from the first half? Like, is that going to be your option? Do you just give it up altogether and just continue to upgrade, your weapon tree? Because you're not, if you're losing that team fight, you're not going to be able to place a torque bow over on the neutral. Who is it? Papa Chocolate Milk. They tried the same thing. It didn't work out, right? The torque bow had zero effect. So it's definitely going to be telling how this round number 1 goes. If it goes well, though, for the side of Immortals, hey, they could be okay. Who knows? All this talk could be for nothing, and Immortals could just play training grounds very well.
Yeah, what do you run, right? I doubt we see a power weapon go down towards hell. Sometimes we see those incendiary grenades get built up quickly towards the lower portions of the map, and you can kind of play for them. But as we know, shock is going to be king here on training grounds. If you're going to be on the bad side fighting you, bait the nades, make a play. Take right hand, play overlook. Send the player out to flank. You don't have to always play that 1v1. Try to mask it where that player who's in that 1v1 spot is taking a route where he can choose to play the 1v1, or he can choose to flank and play 4-man towards the overlook. It's multiple things in which you throw at your opponent, but you need to know those slight variations.
All right, so we do have Rapidz going big up top on that U fight. Takes down Jaysmoove. Pushyz now is going to be in a 1v2, forced to back up. Bit of a stalemate down there, but player 9, that's going to be Phaze. So Phaze is going to be the one to challenge Maniik for that neutral fight, but he's going to go ahead and give it up. It's looking like a quick domination phase now. He's going to have to get a touch. He's going through 1v2. He's going to get chunked in the end. Player 8, Jaysmoove, he's going to have to go through that Lancer fire. No way he's getting through that. And that's going to be a quick round going to the way of Double R.
Yeah, Double R, man. That was a beautiful initial from him. Nice, quick 43-second round there. And you know, you just see the teamwork from him, right? You could just see the experience on the map here, like training grounds. Now, let's see how the boys on the side of Immortals want to come back in this one. They're gonna choose to put the snipe down right away. Okay.
Okay.
And this is going to be their good side too, so I want to see how they're going to play it, how aggressive they're going to play that side of you, or are they going to try to set a trap for their opponent?
Well, it's either going to make this round super fast or elongate it a little bit. Pushyz, he's going to be challenging up top. Toxiq pushing in. He's going to be chunked. Great teamwork there from Pushyz to back up. Little bait and switch, allowing Jaysmoove to get the chunk. Rapidz also falls. Nero now in a tough position. 1v2, trying to get that cover fire. Not going to happen. Maniik, though, comes out from a different angle. He's going to be the hero for the team of Double R. Still full red phases there. Nero on all fours. Maniik might jump over cover and try to get this pickup, and he will. Maniik, the hero, what looks so good for Immortals, now falls to the wayside.
Yeah, man. Oh, Immortals, you thought they were going to come out on top with it, but the snipe and all the kills went in favor towards RR. They're going to lock in the home hill. Neutral's already there. Can Pushyz and Co get towards this B hill? They're getting crossed out. The revive train comes through. Can they get the one kill they need?
Wow.
They do, and help will come. So this round is going to continue to be extended, but a lot of these players still got damage on them.
Yeah.
This is going to be a 1v1 at the home hill for A.
Maniik, I think he hit one shot, got a kill with the long shot, but can't take down Trill despite him being full red. So good job for Trill holding it down, keeping Immortals in the game. Still about 70 points down, so a lot of work to be done. Looks like the OE is going to be in place. They want this home hill to home hill. They're counting the numbers, and they know they need to get through one member. But that's Nero, right? Nero's been playing so very well, and now he's got some added help in the name of Maniik. So they're going to go ahead and pull out an audible, maybe head down to Bravo and pressure Rapidz and Toxiq. Let's see how this works out. Immortals, they've got a lot of work to do, and RR is getting so close to the 250 mark already.
Yeah, they definitely do. So how does Immortals want to break in and get this set up? We see most of their numbers are going to be over here towards top overlook. They got two. Well, they got two on top overlook, two down mid map. And they're going to get a player in God spot. So this is going to be a free B hill for them in this moment. But look at the league. The COG team still has the advantage. So they're going to try to find the best fight for them to be able to get a heal and possibly even overextend and decap their opponent's home hill. They get 2 kills on the other end, and player 5, Maniik, comes clutch in his 2v2. That's going to secure the home hill for him. He can overextend if he wants to, but he's going to choose to just make sure that nobody can take that hill, and him and his team are going to go get a decap on B. Jaysmoove says, hey, you still got to get through me if you want this hill. He will not be able to get towards C in time.
Yeah, it's going to, well, I mean, at 10 seconds, they're all members from Immortals are going to be there. Player 3 holding it down. That's Toxiq taking down Phaze, and this is the break. It needs to happen, but Rapidz and Nero are there. Maniik as well. And it will not occur. Immortals, they gave it a great shot. They actually had time. But once those members got finished off by Maniik, Nero, you take your pick. It just was all over with 2-0. But I will say this, it put a smile on my face watching Jaysmoove put in that work. He's a great player. And, man, he compliments the roster well. But regardless, Double R is just so very strong. So long shot is done. We got the retro out. What's the move from the boys on Immortals? Now they're going to catch up. Like, all right, enough's enough. Let's not do any more craziness here.
Nah, you 100% have to catch up here in weapon placements. If not, your opponent, well, at this moment, your opponent has a guaranteed 1 round where they're going to have this shot grenade and you don't. So you can almost say that's the round in which you're going to have to run a trick strat, something towards B, maybe more numbers up on overlook, but you got to dodge that. Now, Rapidz cannot dodge that shot by Jaysmoove. He's going to get first blood, put out some damage. 4v3 currently on the map. He has some pressure on these guys top overlook. But you see Trill. Oh, misses that wrap shot. Gives a free kill over to Toxiq. And he gets another back A.
No.
You got to take that one wide. You can't get in one-shot range like that. Even when it's feeling good and you feel like your team is off to a hot start, you got to stay composed. If not, an advantage goes out the window. As you see, RR on top of their opponent's home hill currently.
Yes, they are. B, though, still, nobody is able to get their hands on it, but it's going to be tough for Trill to get anywhere. He's shut down. They'll leave player 4 down, Nero, to lock in that neutral. Player 8's only one on the map, and he knows it's over with. And that's going to be another round for double R. Quick rounds. And for Toxiq, well done from him. He played that so good.
Man, he was trapped in a corner. All he can do is throw out back A's on his left hand. He comes off the cover perfectly, which forced Trill to miss that shot. He gets a chunk, but I think his second kill was the most impressive there.
Sure.
But that was the double kill, in which led to the trip cap domination of that round.
All right. Got the shocks in. Those shocks are going to hurt. Like, there's no easy way to put it. And Double R has them in their hands. I mean, they didn't even need an advantage, but now they have more of an advantage, if you will. 6 and 7. Maniik playing very well. Only 1 death to his name. Makes sense. Maniik is just in lights out. Nero's going to grab that shock. He's going to take his time, right? They're not going to waste the time with the Boltok, but the shock absolutely needed. And for Jaysmoove, he might be isolated here, but Trill will pick up Rapidz. Nero will take down Phaze, evens up the odds, but Jaysmoove still up. Takes down Maniik. Trill as well. So this is looking like a much better start unless Nero has anything to say about it. Can he get the kill? Tries to bot walk up the Jaysmoove. He's not going to have anything of it. And finally, an initial will be won from Immortals.
Yeah, and that's one that they needed here. As we are in the last round of the first half. Let's see if they can put this snipe to good use. Okay. That's going to be a down there. Lots of damage coming out. Both these kills should be getting cleaned up here. Home hill locked in. Player 4, that's Nero. He's going to be able to get to B, but that's not a full decap. The Immortals locks in their first round, so way better initial for them. Now, as we head here into the second half, they won the round in which their opponent had their shot grenade and they didn't. Okay.
Sure.
So that worked out for them, and luckily for them that it was on their good side, so that played a big part into it as well. So good job to them. Even better if they hit the foresight, they planned out a few rounds in ahead, knowing what advantages that they may have as they had to build up that shot grenade. But they choose not to take the shot grenade, Taylor. They're going to take an incendiary grenade instead. And I don't know if that was the best play, but let's see what they can do. Let's see what they want to do with this incendiary grenade on that side of the map.
Yeah, I agree. Ensign versus shock, especially if you're fighting for that long shot, it seems like the shock is going to have its distinct advantage. But Pushyz, he's got it, and he's going to be up in the forefront. This might be, you see, actually they evacuated that neutral. They didn't even want it. So they're already pulling an audible, changing up the strategy, but they missed the ensign. That sucks. Now the shock is down 2. And I believe Immortals is going to be caught out here on you. So this might be a tough spot, but Maniik is down. Let's see if they can still end up with the W.
Man, just missed that. But with that incendiary grenade, they're playing a little bit more passive than if they would have had a shock there. And it was working out for them there. On their bad side, they're able to get in, acquire multiple kills, 4v3, make it a 4-man down for RR. Immortals, they're doing a good job here. They're gonna get this trip cap domination. I don't think player 4 makes it in time.
Nope. Shut down at the 1-yard line. So interesting. You know, that's really impressive to see for Immortals. Ensign, play a little bit more passive, take a right instead of a left, right? Go to that U fight. And it worked out quite well because by doing that, right, they know if they go down low, they're going to get caught out by that shock. They're going to either be isolated and they're going to be forced to push forward while they're getting lancered, push straight into Nashers. But by avoiding or by not going to the top side of that long shot, going to the U instead, it limits the effects of the shock because worst case, it gets placed on baby steps to the right. They're still going to be okay and be able to lancer down. So good recovery from Immortals. That's 2 rounds in a row. That's a swing round, if you will. So let's see if they can tie it up.
This is a big one for him. Pushy's going to get his flash out. He's going to stun Toxiq. But even with that hit marker, it was a light one. He still stays aggressive, and he creates an opening for Jaysmoove. And that's what you want out of a front spawn player there. You can't have no fear. And sometimes you got to commit to your push there. You better just hope that you got player 2 coming into the fight. He has your back, your duo there. That time around, it was Jaysmoove making a big play. Now, Maniik gets crossed out. This entire side of the map, control goes over towards Immortals.
Yeah, well done from them. Long shot in the hand of Trill. He's got pretty good line of sight. Nero, though, is keeping his head low, down low. For player 3 on the other end, that's Toxiq. He's going to try and push over, but Trill's going to call him out, hit the body shot, make Toxiq really rethink his strategy here. That's going to be another body. He drops. He's finished off by Pushyz. So well done from Immortals holding down you, but Trill's going to need a little bit more help. He misses that first shot, forced to back up straight into Nero, tries to go for the no-scope, hits a shot, not going to be enough. Now Jaysmoove left up to his own devices, but he's getting Wolfpack. He goes down, and Immortals might be in a little bit of trouble. They do lose the neutral. They're looking to push him back. Pushyz could open up a door here.
He could. He got it baited. He's baiting out his teammate Jaysmoove, and that was some good bait because you don't want to leave Jaysmoove down for too long to be able to get revived there. So E-Hill goes in favor of Immortals, and you know, another great start for them. Now let's see how can they hold this up. That's an important skill set here for a team to be able to hold 2-to-1 hill setups, especially if you want to be in a pro league. So that's going to be a Lancer in hand. I like the cross angles that they got at E. Most importantly, they need to be counting numbers. Nero, he's going to get caught out there. So good plays to him. Jaysmoove gets the call out. He takes one to the grave. His teammate wasn't able to get more damage in on those players, but he has the option, player 7, to sit here and get a Lancer on his heel or just rotate down low with his teammates and cap the home hill. He's saying, you know what, I want to take this one by myself.
And there's no harm in doing so, even if he falls. Immortals so close to the 250 mark, they've got the OE in place, and Double R is not going to be able to refresh, you know, their teammates quick enough in order to gain a presence on the map. So well done from them. And they're looking like a totally different team, man. Immortals is really starting to come away with this. Maniik, he's just trying to go Rambo style straight in. That's his only choice. He will fall, and they'll leave it up to Nero, who's not going to have enough time if I had to guess. Yeah, he's going to get Lancered out, shut down by Jaysmoove. So well done from Immortals. They've won 3 straight rounds in a row to replicate Double R winning 3 straight rounds in a row, and we're tied up 3-3. So Immortals, they went from not having a chance in the world to winning to now having a very real chance and to send it to map 3.
They're back in this series. Taylor, Jaysmoove, 12 kills, 12 assists, and 6 deaths right there. That's a double-double I love to see, okay? So now let's see if he can keep up this performance. One thing that the boys of Immortals have been doing here with that incendiary grenade, shot grenade mismatch up top is that on their bad side, they're using this incendiary grenade to bait out to kind of defend against this push from the YU, bait out anyone who wants to go for that long shot and wants to get too aggressive, while the rest of the team takes their right-hand advantage up top overlook. They get the lances out. It's a perfect strategy here. And then when they get on their good side, they have that right-hand advantage, which is a big one on this map, to really angle out their opponent and come out on top. And also, they still have that incendiary grenade. So great counter here for Immortals. I love the switch up, playing what works for them. Let's see if they can hold off.
Well, they do, in fact, get a big presence onto E. Shock is out, isolates Rapidz. He has no choice but to go forward, and Jaysmoove will use that to his advantage. Continues to improve his stat line. Now he's got the snipe in hand. Again, well done from Jaysmoove, who is really carrying the torch for this Immortals roster. Easy retake for Immortals on their home hill. They take down player 3. He's out of the way. Maniik's getting the refresh on the ensigns. We'll see if that's going to have any impact overall, but keep your head down. Jaysmoove looking to pop it off. He still has 4 more rounds to his name, and he's going to put it to good use. As soon as I say that.
That flame grenade got put to good use up top there. So that's going to be sniped down. RR may have that intel that it was the sniper player, but regardless, they know that they got the intel of the man advantage, and that's the most important thing. So they get the neutral hill back. Toxiq back on their home hill has already called out that they're getting pressed, so you players are going to have to cut back. But at the same time, we've pretty much got a tight game here, Taylor.
Yeah.
RR is going to slow down, let the sniper work, see if he can get a pick, and he got 2 shots left in the clip.
And I think both teams really respect and understand how important this round is, right? For Immortals to now take the lead up 4-3 would be absolutely massive given the fact they were down 3-0. But for Double R, it stops the bleeding, right? Because now they've lost 3 straight rounds in a row, and they don't want Immortals to now win 4 in a row because that is going to hurt on many levels. So this is a big round for both rosters, and they respect that. But for Immortals, they're one step ahead of Double R when it comes to the objective game. First, they went for the double home hill. They got it. Then they were able to find an opening to get on E. They got it. Now they're able to isolate Double R, count the numbers. You got 3 members. They're wolf packing, but they're getting peppered. Double R, they're going in for E. But if I had to guess Immortals, they're immediately, as soon as Double R gets an advantage, they're going to head straight over towards D, but they might not be able to as Jaysmoove at the front line tries to put in work. He gets shut down, and now you got Trill. He's now at the front lines trying to hold off Maniik and co. Is he going to be able to do so? Pushyz, he gave it his best go, but he was shut down in the end. Double R, this is their push to make the round. They've got to get it. This is their only chance.
This is their only chance indeed here. And they're making a fantastic play. E-Hill being decapped here. But as you see, F is decapped as well. They have to go back and get the recapture at E for them to have a chance in this round. Because if it's not defended, that was a beautiful cross. With that down, they know that they still have numbers in player 5 coming off respawn. He's going to capture E. Immortals, they have to push in now.
They have to. This is it. I mean, they need this hill. Maniik's going to get that sniper at the forefront, though. Going big is Rapidz. And a close round. Look, Immortals really had a good shot there, 2 points away, but good job on Double R to hold it down. And again, Maniik at that front line, holding it down, in fact, getting those big chunks. So well done. The bleeding has stopped. And again, that was an important round because you don't want to lose 4 in a row. That hurts your mentality. That hurts, I think, your overall momentum, if you will. But now the question is, do you use your disable at this point in time?
Yo, if you're on the side of Immortals, you 100% use your disable now. Even though the disable was used first there on the side of
Double
on the
R.
side of Double R, they decided to block it out, and they could honestly saved it for the last round if they wanted to, you know?
Sure.
Because it's Immortals at this point who had to make the comeback, so they could have forced their opponent to have to use that block in this round if they wanted to, but regardless, they want to end it now. Let's see if they can do that.
Interesting. So Jaysmoove doesn't go forward like he has in the previous couple of rounds. That opens up the door for Nero to go around you, out-angle one of the opponents, take him down. So Jaysmoove, I really felt he could have complimented Pushyz so well there if he just would have went to the front line, but he didn't. And because of that, Double R, they find a weak link in the chain, they push forward, and they snap it in half. Now at this point in time, Immortals, it's damage control. You got to get through Nero's sniper, and you also have to get through the numbers of Double R.
And Nero, man, he is a power weapons expert. No matter what it is, hammer burst, sniper, retro, nades, he can use it. So using that camera angle, he's going to be trying to find the locations of all these players on the map, and going to have his teammates help as well. But there's a defensive squad. Okay, to him, he's just making call outs, and he's defending against this push. No matter if it goes from home hill to home hill or if it comes top overlook, he'll be ready for it.
Ooh. Nice shot from across the way. Trill still pushing forward with his teammate now. That's going to isolate Maniik in that 1v2. So big through the smoke, though. Nero connects onto Pushyz. And now he's going to be able to help out Maniik. Jaysmoove now brought to one shot. Maniik wants to go in and get the elimination. But now Immortals, they want to finish off Maniik. I guess he's going to leave him to bleed out. Why not? Still big shots, though, from Nero's going to get the drop onto one. And it's great down, like you said, Blaze, because now Double R, they're going to be able to push through a lot more confidently, knowing that Immortals, they just don't have the numbers. But hey, Jaysmoove pulling off some big plays.
Now Nero had to watch his back here. Lock in the E-Hill. Not locked in just yet. Got another kill he needs to get, Taylor. Has to reload. Stand in the corner, dodging shots. He goes for the final blow, but Pushyz takes him out. 2-1 hill advantage here for Immortals. They're trying to send us to a round 9. They have the win condition. Only down by about 40 points in this moment. And Nero, sorry, not Nero, but Pushyz. He's going to be able to pick up a double kill there. locking in his E-Hill, has one more player in his area. That's going to be Toxiq, and he has help coming.
Oh, that's
easy
huge.
Kill.
Yeah, that's massive because look, if Pushyz drops there, most likely player 3 Toxiq gets that break onto E, plus Nero also held it down onto F. He was able to win that 1v1 versus Phaze, so then Double R would have had the 2-to-1 hill advantage, but Immortals still have it. But Double R does have that win condition now, so just getting that decap for the short amount of time was it. But Pushyz hits a nice shot onto Rapidz. Now focus attention onto Toxiq, who will get the better end of the stick here. Immortals though going in for the domination, that swings the win condition back to them, and that's going to be it. Immortals will send it to a round 9. Things just got interesting.
Oh man, it did. It definitely did. Immortals, you're gonna send us to a map 3? This is what you're made out of? Let's see. 21 kills, 14 assists.
11 deaths.
11 deaths there for Jaysmoove, man. He really wants this one. But Rapidz, man, he got 20 assists on the top end of the map. Rapidz versus Phaze there. That's a big difference. Yeah. That could be the difference maker in here. Phaze, he's gonna have to find some ways to contribute here and a little bit more in this last round than he did in the previous ones. Yep. That little extra production could be what tilts the scale in Immortals' favor and gets them to map 3.
Well, I mean, think about it this way, right? You've got 3 members performing so well. Phaze is, you know, for all intents and purposes, stat-wise, you know, definitely being a weight, if you will, for Immortals. So if Phaze can step it up in this final round, hey, all is forgiven. Immortals is already playing this good with 3 members. Imagine if Phaze joins into the mix and you have a solid 4. So Double R in a bit of trouble, but a bit quiet on this fight for the neutral. A lot more quiet than we've seen in the previous 8 rounds.
Yeah, a lot more quiet indeed. It's because these nades super important. Pushyz puts out a lot of damage, but him and his teammate couldn't focus fire that kill in the back. That was really important, but they will focus fire the weapon pickup and the cleanups there. But when they lose a player in the process, Trill is in a revivable position. Jaysmoove goes in for it, but they both will fall. And the E-Hill, as well as the power weapon, goes in favor of RR. No remaining members of Immortals on the map. But with the overextension towards the home hill, that has thinned out RZR's aggression here for the trip cap domination. But with that kill coming through, that's going to do it. That player had to play for the hill. Oh my God! They make it in time. The decap is there.
Jaysmoove comes from the flank as well to pick up some kills, but is it going to be enough? I don't think it will be. Maniik now is going to be locking in F once again. You got Trill who's coming off the respawn, and surely he doesn't pull off another heroic like Pushyz just did, and he doesn't. Oh. But it was interesting till the very end, Blaze. But the end result is a 5-4 victory, closing it out 2-0 is going to be Double R. But hey, if you're of course waiting in finals, much like Driven by Fear is, and you're looking at that training grounds map, maybe you're thinking this could be a map we add in our rotation. But shout out to Jaysmoove. He ends up getting the L, but he got a W in his own way, and he really showed he has what it takes to be one of the top players on that Immortals roster if he already isn't. So well done from him, but Double R, even better job with the 2-0 victory.
Yeah, man, definitely a lot of talented players on both these squads here. You know, great effort there by Immortals, Jaysmoove, Pushyz, hell, even Trill. They all played great. You know, Phaze, he did great in map number 1. Just a little bit of he got outproduced there by the bottom player on the other squad. Even though he had 8 kills, he had 20 assists. He was Lancer. He was a part of every single team fight. And that just tells me that the teamwork there on RR was just a little bit too much there for Immortals to get through.
So now we're talking about the teamwork from RR. And again, I highlight that they played so very well. And you can really see that teamwork more so, I think, on Asylum with their dominant win 5-1, right? But overall, though, now I really do pose the question because we were kind of going back and forth with this earlier. Is the teamwork from Double R a little bit more impressive than Driven by Fear?
You know what? It feels like Double R has more time together as a unit, right?
They do.
Now,
yes.
You know, so, and because of that experience as a squad, even though Driven by Fear may have more years playing Gears of War esports competitively than this team, the current experience of this 4-man roster could be Driven by Fear. This squad played great, and DBF, man, it's going to be an uphill battle for them. But the one trait that they showed in their first series, Taylor, was that they can adapt round by round, and they hit a deep book of strategy. So they're going to have to be actively making adjustments in the mid game, in the early game, in the late game, all game if they want to beat this RR team, because they definitely did impress me.
And I do want to say, shout out to Maniik for playing as well as he did. He's the newest addition to this roster, replacing Solar, who Solar is a very, very talented player in his own right. Been watching him for quite some time. And, Maniik, we know the name, right? We expect him to do just as well as Solar, and I think he did. So well done from him.